It's 5 o'clock, this 20th of December 2021, Goldsboro City Council regular meeting is in session. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mayor Ham,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Polak,
Present.
Councilmember Jones, here. Councilmember Broadway,
Here.
Councilmember Matthews,
Present.
Councilmember Gaylor,
Present.
Councilmember Aycock.
Here. Okay, we're all here. Next item is adoption of the agenda. Is there any changes, deletions, or additions to the minutes?
Yes.
Excuse me, agenda, excuse me.
Yes, I move that item G under the consent agenda be moved to the individual action section to have thorough discussion.
Okay. Moving the neighborhood plan property transfer item
Yes.
G to the items requiring individual action.
Yes.
Any other changes? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'd like to add the Vine Street Stormwater Project under new business, item C.
Okay, make item Vine Street project item C under new business. Are there any other changes or additions? If there are no more changes or additions, do I have a motion to approve as amended?
So moved.
Second, motion second. All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? The agenda is adopted as amended. Okay, under old business, we have coronavirus relief fund update by Mr. Salmon.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. I want to inform you that recent staff review of the Coronavirus Relief Fund spending determined that the council approved fiber broadband project at city facilities to facilitate free Wi-Fi distance learning in connection with school closings should have been competitively bid to be compliant with federal law, vice the use of the utility service agreement with the city of Wilson, which is allowed under North Carolina state law and what the city typically uses for these kinds of services. To prevent a possible clawback of the funding by the U.S. Treasury, the Finance Director and I recommend reallocating the $153,000 spent on the project to public safety, police officer, and firefighter payroll and benefits, which, as a Treasury administrative accommodation, are presumed to be substantially dedicated to mitigating the COVID public health emergency. With council concurrence, staff will make the appropriate adjustments to documentation. Are there any questions?
Anyone have any questions? Okay. No vote is needed on that, just explanation of, what took place.
Yes, sir.
Okay, new business, item B, FY 1920 audit update from Dixon Hughes Goodman. Sir, come on up and
Yes, sir.
introduce yourself. You've been here before, so you're not a stranger to this, this room.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. My name is John Frank with Dixon Hughes Goodman, the external audit firm for the city, and appreciate you allowing me to join you this afternoon. Just to give you a brief summary on the status of the audit. Currently, we provided your finance officer, Ms. Gwynn, with a preliminary draft of the financial statements, which she's in the process of reviewing, and our plan is to issue the final audit report soon after the holidays. I'll just briefly touch on the financial results for fiscal 2020. First, in the city's general fund, available fund balance was down this year, as I believe you've been informed. The fund balance percentage as a percentage of expenditures is between 8 and 9%, which is above the local government commission minimum fund balance percentage, but of course, that leaves you with very little cushion. General fund expenditures were also down for the fiscal year. In the utility fund, the results were more favorable revenues were up for the year, and total fund balance was up over $1 million. Working capital, which consists of the utility fund's current assets, less current liabilities, was also up for the utility fund. We also performed a single audit over federal and state grant expenditures. The state program that was subjected to the single audit this year was the Power Bill program, and the federal program that fell under the single audit requirements was the capitalization grant for clean water revolving funds, which relates to the Phase 4 sewer rehab project. For those programs, we did not identify any question cost or other findings. The only audit finding that we anticipate reporting this year will, of course, be the late filing of the report, but otherwise do not anticipate having any other findings or material weaknesses in internal controls. Those were the only comments I had prepared, and I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have about the audit.
Do you see any management letter items coming in?
We haven't finalized that yet. Nothing of great significance.
Okay.
We might have a few recommendations in the IT area, but nothing that would rise to the level of a material weakness.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Can you tell me why the audit is always late?
Well, I think the city is still dealing with staffing issues and getting the records up to date. I think your finance officer has been working very diligently in getting things current. When this audit's finished, she'll begin preparing for the 2021 audit, which I believe she's indicated to us that we should be ready to start that in May, and hopefully we'll get back on a more timely current schedule for completing the year end and completing the audit.
Any other questions?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Any other questions, comments?
I know I saw her car up here over Thanksgiving time too, so we appreciate that very much.
Okay, sir. That's
I
it.
hope you weren't working too hard, too late.
It was late. But
always-
thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
Okay, item C, Line Street project.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Hope everyone's doing well. I appreciate you taking the time to let me walk this through tonight. Hopefully I'll keep it quick and won't take much of your time. It's pretty straightforward. The stormwater infrastructure on Vine Street between George and Virginia Street has failed. We've tried a couple point repairs a few times, but if you go out and look at it, there's sinkholes and it's just not working. The line actually needs to be replaced entirely. The plan right now is to abandon in place, fill it with flowable fill, and then actually go off parallel to the road in the grass median and put a new line in, upgrade it from a 12 to an 18 to help mitigate some of the problems we've had in the past there. So we're going to upsize it as well. We're going to do this internally. It's new construction, and we're typically manned to do point repairs and things of that nature, maintenance, preventive maintenance and repairs. But I think this is a small enough scale that we're going to tackle it in-house for about $35,000 to $45,000. Our estimates for going outside contracted out are run between $80,000 to $100,000, so we can save some money, train some staff too, and so we're hoping to be able to do it in-house. The plan is to utilize the stormwater capital project funds. There's money available. It's been set aside. This is the type of project that the funds are set aside for. I've spoken with Ms. Gwynn, the finance director, and she'll present at the next agenda, January 10th, work session, the proper documents to appropriate the funds officially. But tonight, we're just asking for the general consent to go ahead for approval for the project, and then she'll release the funds for us to place the order for the materials now. It's going to take up to a month to get the materials in. If we place the order now, the funds are released, then we're hoping to start the project mid-January, late January, versus just ordering the materials at that point. So the sooner we get the materials, the quicker we can get it done. So we're just asking for, I guess, a head nod or consent, approval for the project tonight.
I was making some notes here, but as I saw the draft estimates, and your estimate of doing it yourself, and the city doing it, It's about 50%.
Half the
of,
cost, yes, sir.
Having a commercial do it.
Yes, sir. And it may take us a little longer. We're short-staffed. I have 10 stormwater staff right now. We have 7. We've had about 7 for the last year. It's hard. Getting personnel is just hard for everyone across the board. But we'll just pull from streets too, and we'll make it happen.
Good training.
It's an excellent training. We're going to use HDPE, so it's not concrete, reinforced pipe. It's easy to work with, so we're going to use it as a training exercise as well.
Rick, how long have we been messing with that project? Years, and
This particular one on Vine, I know for at least the last 6 or 7 months, we've had issues out there. We've tried to do point repairs. It's been longer than that.
It's been a long time before that, probably before you got here.
Okay. It's raised its ugly head since I've been here in the last few months.
Thank you.
Yes,
Any
sir.
other comments? No one has any objection to their concept of doing it themselves? I don't see any, so go forward.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Rick.
Okay, that brings us down to the consent agenda. By prior approval, item G is moved to the items requiring individual action, so we're dealing with H through K, and Mr. Manager, go ahead.
Go ahead. Laura, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Item H is boards and commissions meetings for 2022. City of Goldsboro's general rules of order for boards and commissions states that each December, council adopts a comprehensive meeting schedule for all city public bodies. These dates may be amended with proper notice to the clerk's office. It's recommended that council accept staff recommendations and approve the 2022 boards commissions meeting schedule, which is attached in the agenda packet.
Any comments, questions? Okay, we have the next one.
Item I is advisory boards and commissions appointments. There are currently several vacancies on advisory boards and commissions. The city council met during the work session on December the 6th to review the vacancies and applications received to fill the current vacancies. If council approves item J, the ordinance revising the boards outlined, with these appointments, 2 vacancies on the Goldsboro Municipal Golf Course Committee and 1 student vacancy on the Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission will remain. It's recommended that council adopt the resolutions appointing members to various boards and commending those individuals whose terms have expired, who have moved, or who have resigned.
Any questions?
And the last item is item J, amending Chapter 32 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Goldsboro. The Mayor's Committee for Persons with Disabilities membership is currently composed of 15 members. Council recognizes the need for an increase in participation on the board and wishes to increase the membership size. The Goldsboro Municipal Golf Course Committee has seen a decrease in membership, and council has discussed reducing the number of members on the board. At the meeting on December the 6th, council discussed the Mayor's Committee for Persons with Disabilities, the golf course, and the golf course with their decrease in numbers, and recommends decreasing the board from 7 to 5 on the golf course and increasing the Mayor's Committee from 15 to 16. After a review of the Chapter 32, several administrative errors were discovered, including changing Development Services Director to Planning Director and a typographical error in memberships under 32.326 Board of Adjustment. Staff recommends council consider adopting the following title ordinance, amending Chapter 32, Mayor's Committee for Persons with Disabilities of the Code of Ordinances, changing the membership from 15 members, that number should be to 16 members. And then Chapter 32, Goldsboro Municipal Golf Course, changing the membership from 7 to 5, and then other administrative changes as noted.
Okay, we've got the recommendation to change a couple chapters of the ordinance. As you heard, any questions? Okay, there'll be no questions. We'll close the consent agenda items. I'll come back to that in the regular session. At this time, we'll move along pretty steadily here. I suggest we move to the closed session, get that over with. If there no objections, if there is no objections, could we have a motion to go into closed session for potential litigation and others?
I'll make a motion, we go into closed session for possible litigation.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your hand.